In 11 days, Jack Dorsey is auto-enabling Bitcoin payments for every eligible business on Square. That's the payment terminal that you see at the counter of your coffee shop, your boutique, your favorite food truck. No application required, no special setup. Bitcoin just shows up at checkout and boom, you're able to spend it instantly. And most people are covering this like it's a fintech story, but in reality, it's not. Because at the exact same moment, the richest man in the world is launching his own payments platform. But I believe that there's something much larger going on, and I have the proof. While Trump and the Fed continue to deliver tariffs, inflation, and war, the smartest and richest people on the planet are quietly building alternative payment systems. Today, I'm gonna show you two examples of how that plays out. One may lead you to freedom, and one may lead you to slavery.
You are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch.
I'm Sophie, welcome back to Satoshi. Let's get into it. Square just updated its terms of service to auto-enable Bitcoin Lightning payments for all eligible sellers starting March 30th, 2026. No opt-in, no application process, merchants were notified, and unless they actively turn it off, Bitcoin is live at their checkout. Just like that. The scale is almost hard to process. Square has 4 million merchants in the US alone. Cash App, also owned by Jack Dorsey's Block, has 58 million monthly active users who can pay with Bitcoin instantly as well. Zero processing fees through 2026. It's a Lightning Network settlement, which means transactions are near instant and nearly free. Think about what that means in real life. The coffee shop you go to every morning, the boutique your friend runs, the food truck at the farmer's market. As of March 30th, they all accept Bitcoin, whether they thought about it or not. This isn't a pilot program or a press release. The payment infrastructure as we know it is being switched on at scale. And the man who switched it on has been one of the most vocal Bitcoin maxis in tech for years. That is not a coincidence. And let me tell you why. So why would Jack Dorsey do this? Why auto-enable Bitcoin for millions of merchants, build Lightning into Cash App, and make it all free? Because Jack Dorsey is not doing this for charity. He's been one of the most vocal Bitcoin maximalists in tech for years.
I don't think there's anything more important in my lifetime to work on, and I don't think there's anything more enabling for people around the world.
He's gone on record saying Bitcoin is the most important thing he's working on. Not Square, not Cash App, but specifically Bitcoin. And here's the part that most people skip over. The more people use Bitcoin, the more valuable Bitcoin becomes. And Jack Dorsey holds a lot of Bitcoin. Think about it the same way that you would think about Saylor. We covered this last week. Strategy is buying 6,000 Bitcoin a week. Saylor has publicly committed to never selling. And every time Bitcoin's price goes up, Strategy's balance sheet gets stronger, their stock goes up, and Saylor's bet pays off. His incentives are completely aligned with Bitcoin winning. Dorsey's incentives work the same way, just from a different angle. Every time someone taps their phone and pays with Bitcoin at a Square terminal, that's a new user that's onboarded, a new wallet activated, a new person who now has lived with the experience of using Bitcoin in the real world. And every one of those people is a new source of demand for a fixed supply asset that Dorsey already holds. He's not just building adoption out of ideology, he's building a network that makes his stack more valuable. And he's doing it by making Bitcoin the path of least resistance for 4 million businesses and 58 million Cash App users. That is an extraordinarily smart play. He might actually be orange pilling people faster than Michael Saylor. And it's working exactly the same way Saylor's play is working, just at the commerce layer instead of the balance sheet. And look, what Dorsey and Saylor are building is the infrastructure, but infrastructure only protects you if you're actually holding your own keys. That's where the Bitcoin way comes in. Your personal Bitcoin IT team, self-custody training, cybersecurity, Plan B residency, over 20 years of expertise. They simplify the whole thing so that you stay in complete control of your stack. Book a free 30-minute consultation at thebitcoinway.com/simply. Tell them Satoshi sent you. And then there's Elon. Oh, Elon. On March 10th, Elon Musk announced that X Money, his payments platform built into X, would launch in April 2026. Peer-to-peer transfers, bank deposits, a debit card, 6% yield on balances, built in partnership with Visa, and the X Money debit card was spotted being used in the wild just days ago. Now, to be clear, X Money isn't a Bitcoin product. Not yet. But here's what matters. The richest man in the world looked at the financial system, looked at what Dorsey was building, and decided he needed to build his own parallel payments infrastructure too. Don't forget that Jack Dorsey is the one who invented Twitter, which is now X, which is now owned by Elon Musk. It's all connected. Billionaires see billionaires. When Jack Dorsey embeds Bitcoin into the checkout flow of 4 million businesses, Elon notices. When Elon builds a financial platform inside of the world's largest public square, Dorsey notices. These are not moves by people who think the existing system is going to be fine. Think about that for a second. The men who built the platforms that most of the world uses to communicate, to buy things, to send money, they are quietly building exits from the financial system they operate inside. They're not doing it loudly. They're doing it by changing the terms of service that nobody reads anyway, and launching debit cards and auto-enabling lightning payments. They're not panicking, they're building. And that is what bear markets are for building. So zoom out for a second and look at what we've just walked through. Jack Dorsey, one of the most successful builders in tech, is embedding Bitcoin into the checkout flow for 4 million businesses. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is building his own parallel financial system. Michael Saylor is buying 6,000 Bitcoin a week and won't stop. These are not fringe actors. These are the most prominent, most connected, most financially sophisticated people on the planet. And they're all independently building or accumulating outside of the traditional financial system right now. Simultaneously, you gotta ask yourself, what do they know that most people don't? Here's what I think they know. They know that the system has a fundamental problem that no election can fix. Trump ran on making things affordable, lowering prices, ending the wars, bringing manufacturing home. A lot of people voted for that, including a lot of people in this community. And what they got was tariffs that raised prices, a war with Iran that started February 28th, and an inflation rate that has not responded to anything Washington has tried. But here's the thing. This isn't really about Trump. This would be true of any president because inflation isn't a policy failure. It's a feature. It's what happens when you give government the power to print the money it needs to fund the things it wants to do. Wars are expensive. Debt is expensive. And the bill always gets paid the same way, by making your dollars worth less. And this is the bottom line. You cannot vote your way out of that. It doesn't matter who wins. The mechanism is the same. The outcome is the same. Your purchasing power erodes, your savings shrink, your cost of living rises, and everybody's feeling that. That's 50 years of data, not a political opinion. And Bitcoin was literally invented as a response to exactly this. Fixed supply, no central authority, no printer, nobody can inflate it, nobody's election can change how many of it exists. What Dorsey, Elon, and Saylor are building isn't a bet on Bitcoin going up. It's a bet that the existing system keeps doing exactly what it has always done. And history says that's a very safe bet. And if this is the moment that you decide to actually start stacking, here's the easiest way to do it right. Bitcoin Well is the self-custody Bitcoin on-ramp. You buy Bitcoin directly into your personal wallet. No custodial risk, non-custodial by design, trusted by 50,000 plus users, publicly traded, daily recurring buys available. Sign up at bitcoinwell.com/simplybtc. Through our link, you get 3 chances to win 1 million sats. That's 0.01 Bitcoin. not nothing. So sign up at bitcoinwell.com/simplybtc. So what do you actually have to do with all of this? Here's the thing about opt-out systems. They only work in your favor if you opt in before the crowd does. The 4 million merchants on Square aren't all going to become Bitcoiners overnight. Most of them won't think about it at all. But the infrastructure is there. The on-ramp is built, and every person who starts transacting in Bitcoin, even accidentally, even just once at a coffee shop, is a person who now has a lived experience of money that works differently. That's how adoption actually happens, not through white papers or YouTube videos. Please keep watching this. Through checkout screens and real-world examples. And the people who understood this early, the Saylors and the Dorseys, the people who stacked through the bear market while everyone else was selling, they're gonna be on the right side of what comes next. The exit is being built. The question is whether you're gonna use it. And if you want to be in the room where the next chapter of Bitcoin actually gets written, Mining Disrupt is where that happens. The world's largest Bitcoin mining expo, biggest names in the industry, cutting-edge rigs, Bitcoin and AI integration, live stream keynotes, and networking you cannot get anywhere else. Grab your tickets at miningdisrupt.com and use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off. Do not sleep on this. I want to be honest with you for a second. I'm a mom of two. My youngest is 2 months old. I spend a lot of time thinking about what the world is going to look like when my kids are grown up, what their money will be worth, what their options will be, whether the system they inherit will give them any real choices. And when I look at what's being built right now, Square auto-enabling Bitcoin at 4 million businesses, X Money launching next month, Saylor locking up the supply by the hundreds of thousands, I don't see a bear market. I see the foundation of something. The political system will keep doing what the political system does. Promises will be made and broken. Wars will start. Money will be printed. That's never going to change. But for the first time in history, there's a credible, working, globally accessible alternative. And the people who understand that are building it into the fabric of everyday life right now, quietly, systematically, one checkout screen at a time. And that's the world that I want my kids to grow up in. Not one where they have to trust whoever's in the White House with the value of their savings. One where they hold their own keys. That's what this is about. Thanks for watching Simply Bitcoin's Satoshi. Don't forget to smash the like button, share the show with your friends, drop a comment below, I read them all, and follow me on X at InternetSophie. As always, stack, slay, and stay bullish, baby.